In the dusty heart of Redemption Gulch, Jedediah, a rancher with more land than sense, eagerly awaited his mail-order bride. He'd sent away for a woman described as fair and slender, picturing a delicate flower to grace his sprawling, empty home. The stagecoach finally rolled in, kicking up a cloud of ochre dust. Out stepped Clara. She was fair, yes, with a smile that could outshine the prairie sun, but she was by no means slender. She was a woman of substance, with rosy cheeks and arms strong enough to knead dough for a dozen hungry men. Jedediah's face fell faster than a boulder in a canyon. "You ain't what I ordered," he grumbled, barely looking her in the eye. He pointed a dismissive finger toward the town's lone boarding house. "You can stay there till the next stagecoach. I'm not paying your fare back." Humiliation washed over Clara, but she held her head high. She wasn't a sack of flour to be returned. With her chin up, she walked toward the boarding house, her heart heavier than her travel trunk. News of Jedediah's cruelty spread through Redemption Gulch like wildfire. The townsfolk, however, saw what Jedediah couldn't, a kind woman with resilience in her eyes. To earn her keep, Clara offered to cook for the boarders. And oh, could she cook! The aroma of her buttermilk biscuits, slow-simmered stews, and cinnamon apple pies began to drift from the boarding house kitchen, a fragrant siren call that drew everyone in. Sheriff Brody, a man who usually lived on tough jerky and even tougher coffee, found himself drawn to the boarding house by the heavenly smells. He was a man of few words, but a big appetite. He took one bite of Clara's chicken and dumplings and felt something shift inside him. It wasn't just the food, it was the care, the warmth, the heart she poured into every dish. It tasted like home, a home he hadn't realized he was missing. Night after night, Sheriff Brody found an excuse to eat at the boarding house. He'd listen as Clara laughed with the other diners, her presence filling the room with a joy it hadn't known. He didn't see her size, he saw her generous spirit, he saw the strength it took to turn rejection into an opportunity. Jedediah, meanwhile, was stuck with his own burnt cooking, smelling Clara's delicious creations from his lonely ranch and growing thinner and more bitter by the day. One evening, after a particularly divine slice of peach cobbler, Sheriff Brody worked up his courage. "Clara," he began, his voice uncharacteristically gentle, "I ain't a man with much to offer. Just a tin star and a steady heart. But I reckon a woman who can cook like you, with a soul as good as your biscuits, well, she deserves more than just a boarding house kitchen." He looked at her, his gaze steady and true. "She deserves a home, our home." Clara's eyes welled with tears, but this time they were tears of pure joy. She had come to Redemption Gulch looking for a husband and a home, and while the journey was unexpected, she had found something far better. She found a community that embraced her, a purpose that filled her days, and a man who loved her not for the woman she was supposed to be, but for the magnificent woman she was. Together, Clara and Sheriff Brody built a life filled with love, laughter, and, of course, the best food west of the Mississippi. I hope you enjoyed this tale of the Wild West. If you love stories like this, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.